Hi folks, I'm Steve Hindy for Shark, showing animals respect and kindness. Jim Inhofe, Oklahoma's senior U.S. Senator, just might be the most corrupt politician in government. He certainly is among the most cruel and cowardly. On September 9 and 10, Jim Inhofe will hold his annual pigeon shoot fundraiser and dove hunt. Live pigeons will be hand-thrown into the air and shot by cowards skulking behind hay bales. The killers skulk behind those hay bales lest they get even a tiny hit from one of their fellow shooters, a number of which will have been drinking. It's just that kind of spectacle. Whether you work on behalf of animals, the environment, or simply for a better country, Shark is inviting you to come and protest this event and raise your voice to draw attention to it across the country and beyond. Let me give you a little background on this outrageous spectacle. In 2014, after receiving an anonymous tip, Shark investigator Stu Chaffetz attended the Inhofe slaughter undercover. Stu used a hidden camera to film the cruelty and cowardice of Inhofe and his supporters. Two groups were contacted by the informant, PETA and Shark. While Shark sent an investigator, PETA chose to simply contact the local authorities, which Inhofe's campaign manager, Rusty Appleton, found to be very comical.
This year is the first year PETA called the district county sheriff on us for doing this. And of course nobody cared and nobody's doing anything about it.
What Mr. Appleton likely found less comical was that he was talking to a Shark investigator. Once we went public with the documentation, Inhofe took a big hit from the media, but he continued the slaughter in 2015 because Inhofe is just that kind of twisted and corrupt coward. And he has corrupted his entire state because there's nobody willing to do anything to him. In 2015, Shark returned and used one of our Angel drones to document the cruelty and cowardice of Inhofe and his cabal. The drone was shot down in violation of federal law by Inhofe's party. But because of Inhofe's power to corrupt, the local sheriff wouldn't even respond. Fortunately, the drone was repairable and will be back in the air for the next round with Inhofe. Inhofe's two-day slaughter is reminiscent of the infamous annual pigeon shoot that used to be held every Labor Day in Higgins, Pennsylvania. That was a tradition of blood that lasted for almost a century. The Higgins cruelty was supported by the lowest of the human gene pool, including skinheads, Ted Nugent, the Ku Klux Klan, and the NRA. Frontline activism from the best of humanity, along with a court case from one cruelty investigator named Clayton Hulsizer, who was supported by the Fund for Animals, brought the killing to an end. Today, Shark is inviting dedicated people from throughout the animal protection movement and beyond to join us outside Altus, Oklahoma, to publicly stand against corrupt Jim Inhofe and his cruelty. For PETA, it's an opportunity to wipe that stupid smile off Rusty Appleton's face. This will not be a fun couple days. There will be no posh environment. I'll tell you up front that local, county, and state law enforcement we have encountered are just as corrupt as Inhofe, and even if there are some good cops, there will be no one willing to stand up to the Inhofe corruption machine. Last year, Inhofe sent armed thugs out to try and intimidate us. It didn't work, but you'll have to be prepared for this. Shark will be using high-powered cameras and megaphones to both document and protest Inhofe's orgy of killing. We're willing to work with other groups or are happy to have other groups operate separately using whatever nonviolent methods they choose. Please write to us as soon as possible at this address. Shark has already uploaded a video calling on activists to turn the Inhofe slaughter into the next Higgins pigeon shoot. This second video is being uploaded as a sign of our resolve and to invite all groups concerned about animals, the environment, or the social progress which Inhofe opposes. We want anyone who wants to make positive change. I've been very critical of supposed activists who show up by the hundreds at animal rights conventions in fancy hotels. I've said you can find more so-called activists in the bar at these conferences than on the killing fields. This is your opportunity to prove me wrong, and I surely hope you will. We know the names of the groups who frequent those conferences, so let's see if those same groups have the dedication to go up against corrupt Inhofe. When Inhofe's event is over, the world will better know of his misdeeds, and it will know who stood against Inhofe and who did not. Jim Inhofe is an icon for the 3 C's of animal abuse: cruelty, cowardice, and corruption. And he is the perfect focus for a movement that has wandered too far from its activist roots and has spent too much time in meetings, conferences, and galas. It's time to get to work, hopefully together, to expose the people who cause so much pain and suffering in our country, the kind of people who turn the world to shit. People like corrupt Jim Inhofe and his cronies. I'm Steve Hindy for Showing Animals Respect and Kindness.